Ah, the joy of pet ownership. Those rides in the car, and unconditional and overflowing love. Those wonderful moments of cuteness, cuddles. Teaching them tricks like chase the ball. But then there are those times when they just don't feel like coming back. And then they turn into a ball of terror when you try to give them a bath. Slobbering on the suede couch just over their $125 dog bed. And those times when they would rather eat your shoe instead of their chew toy. And then there's that attempt to decorate the tree. They are so adorable. Good dog. I'm the one who held the nail. It was cold between my fingertips. I've hidden in the garden. I've denied you with my very lips. God, I fall down to my knees with a hammer in my hand. You look at me, arms open. Forgiven, forgiven. Child, there is freedom from all of it. Say goodbye to every sin. You are forgiven. I've done things I wish I hadn't done. I've seen things I wish I hadn't seen. Just the thought of your amazing grace. And I cried, Jesus, forgive me. God, I fall down to my knees with a hammer in my hand. You look at me, arms open. Forgiven, forgiven. Child, there is freedom from all of it. Say goodbye to every sin. You are forgiven. I could have been 6 feet under. I could have been lost forever. I should have been in that fire, but now that fire's inside of me. Here I am, a dead man walking, no grave gonna hold God's people. All the weight of all our evil lifted away, forever free. Who could believe? Who could believe? Forgiven, forgiven. You love me even when I don't deserve it. Forgiven, I'm forgiven. Jesus, your blood makes me innocent. So I will say goodbye to every sin. I am forgiven. I am forgiven.
You ever get tired of your just boring day-to-day life? I do. I should say I did. Then I decided to do something about it. Conventional wisdom says you live your life, you grow up, your parents die, they leave an inheritance for you. That wasn't working for me. I wanted to enjoy that inheritance now, so I decided to do something about it. So one day, I walked straight up to my dad, looked him square in the eye, and I said,
"Dad, I want what's coming to me right now." That's what my youngest son said to me. At that moment, all I could think of was, I'd like to give what's coming to him right now. But he's my son, and I love him. And as much as it put an ache in my heart, I gave him the money, and I told him that he could go search for a life on his own. Not long after that, he packed his bags, and the next thing I knew,
I was out of there. The friends, the food, the clothes, it was great. Until
my son's money ran out around the same time the country hit a recession.
it was bad. Really bad. I'd squandered everything my dad had given me, and I didn't have anywhere to live, anything to eat. So it was hunger pains is a constant reminder of how I'd squandered my life away. I lived in agony day after day.
After day after day, I would watch and I would wait. And my heart would ache, as only a heart can, from a parent to a child. But hear me on this. I never once gave up on my child. I knew that he would come back one day.
One day it hit me. I realized my dad's lowliest worker was living like a king compared to me. So I had an idea.
Hello, everyone. I want to talk to you today about, I think, the hardest thing to do in life. More on that in a minute. Our family has a dog. She's a little dog. She's a Shih Tzu and a Yorkie mix. She's yappy. She can sometimes be annoying. She wants to go out at the most inconvenient times and just bark at the neighbor dogs. When it's too cold or too rainy or just not to her liking, she doesn't use the restroom outside. She finds a spot inside. She doesn't like to get her hair cut. She doesn't like to get her nails cut. She's fussy. She exhibits behaviors that, frankly, I wouldn't put up with from any person that I know. Why do I put up with it from her? Oh, it's because she's just so darn cute. And you know how it is. Maybe you've had a pet. Maybe you have one now. You know they can be a challenge. Dog, cat, bird, fish, horse, sheep, whatever it might be. You know they're a challenge. And you know they test you sometimes. And you know that sometimes you think to yourself, why did I ever think this was a good idea? And then they greet you at the door with that wagging tail. Or they just give you a look, whatever it might be. And you love them. And you forgive them. And that's the hardest thing, I think, to do as a person, is to forgive not your pet, but another person. There's something about our interactions with each other that are less easily forgivable than with our pets. Peter asked Jesus, how often should I forgive? 70 times 7, he was told. Other places in the Bible address how should we forgive? When should we forgive? Where should we forgive? Who should we forgive? All of those. And it spins in the mind. And in our Christian tradition, it's been said, or we've been led to believe that, well, if somebody does something to you, you just need to forgive and move on. Because that's what Jesus would do. Well, it's not that easy. Even Jesus didn't just move on. But for us, forgiveness probably isn't something that just happens or just happens once. But forgiveness is more a process. It's something that takes time. The two parties or whomever is mixed up in the need for forgiveness need to work things out over time. Need to come to a place where forgiveness makes sense. Needs to change behaviors, repent, do something differently so forgiveness isn't needed again soon or later. But as disciples of Jesus, we know we do have to commit to the process of forgiveness. We do have to commit ourselves to seeing the possibility of redemption in another person or in another situation. How that happens is different in every situation. Maybe we should look at each other more like we look at our pets. That we're not always the brightest. We're not always making good decisions. We're not always doing things at a convenient time. But that in the end, we are lovable. In the end, we are simply creatures of God who happen to walk on 2 feet as opposed to 4. So whatever you need to do, commit to forgiveness, however long it takes. And in the end, the process, the time, the effort will be worth it.
So I had an idea. See, I would go up to him and I would humbly just ask him for a job. I couldn't expect him to take me back as his son, but maybe he would give me a job, just maybe.
It was a beautiful day. I was sitting there on the porch, just enjoying the cool breeze, and that's when I saw him.
He stood up. He looked in my direction, and he squinted his eyes to kind of get a better look at me. I wondered if he would take me back. And then my dad jumped off the porch.
You know what I did next? I ran.
I'd never seen him run so fast. He was like this kid who was excited about something, and then I realized he was excited about me.
My heart was pounding so fast, I just had to get to him.
He was running at me with his arms stretched out as if to say, "Welcome home."
Welcome home! Welcome home! And as I got closer to him, I could see tears in his eyes.
My dad was crying.
Tears of joy. And you know what my boy did next? He jumped.
I couldn't help it. I jumped right into my dad's arms, and you know what he did?
Well, I fell backwards. He's a big boy.
He held me. He held me like only a father could. I just kept saying to him over and over again, "I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I don't deserve to be called your son."
My son is home. Get him some clean clothes. Get him some shoes for his feet. Let's prepare a meal. No. Let's prepare a feast. For my son will no longer live as an orphan. Today we will celebrate, for all my hopes have come true.
I guess it was hope. Hope that kept me going all those days. Hope that my father would show me mercy. Hope that somehow He would take me back and that I could be forgiven.
Forgiven. It is all forgiven. It is forgotten, and I will never bring it up again. There is no anger, there is no shame, there is no blame. All that's left is just pure joy. For my child was lost, and now he's found.
Forgiven, forgiven. You love me even when I don't.